Reverse psychology is one of the most powerful tools of persuasion ever discovered. When you learn how it works, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Ads, relationships, arguments at work, friendships, parenting, in the classrooms you grew up in, and in the politics you vote for. Want to make someone do something? Tell them not to. It sounds insane. But this little twist of human behavior, this unexpected psychological judo, flips resistance into curiosity and defiance into action. People believe they're making independent decisions every day. But what if I told you that in many cases, their so-called free will was guided, pressed gently by unseen hands they never realized existed? What if the boldest choices you've ever made were actually calculated reactions to what you were indirectly told not to do? That's the real power of reverse psychology. And if you even think about clicking away from this video now, know this: you'll be walking blind through a world that's designed to push your buttons and make you think you pulled them. You are about to learn how you've been nudged by parents, partners, bosses, politicians, and how to take that power back and use it consciously, ethically, and effectively. If you leave now, you'll keep playing a game you didn't even know you were in. But stay, and you'll have the key to one of the deepest psychological levers ever discovered. Let's start with what nobody tells you. Human beings hate being told what to do. We resist it instinctively. It's an emotional reflex buried inside our evolutionary instincts for survival and autonomy. Sigmund Freud called it reactance, a subconscious drive that kicks in when we feel our freedom is being threatened. In simpler terms, the moment someone says, "You must do this," our mind starts preparing its rebellion. And ironically, the more we feel pushed into something, the more we want to push back, just to protect our sense of control. This isn't always logical, it's emotional. Carl Jung would say that this is the shadow in us rearing up, the hidden part of our personality that refuses domination, seeks liberty, and demands the right to choose, even if the choices are self-destructive. Which brings us back to the trick. Instead of meeting resistance with force, we use a nudge of reverse suggestion. Tell someone, "You probably won't understand this concept, it's too complicated." Instantly, their pride is on the line. They lean in, not because they want to understand, but because they want to prove you wrong. And boom, you've transferred the emotional motivation to them. You've made their reaction your intention. Now picture a child refusing to go to sleep. Traditional parenting says argue, reason, beg. But if the parent instead says, "That's fine, stay up all night, I guess you don't need sleep like grown-ups do," suddenly the child wants to identify with the authority they were previously resisting. It's no longer an order, it's a status challenge inverted. That shift, that's the pivot of reverse psychology. The manipulation is invisible because it's self-imposed. The real art is in understanding not just what someone wants, but what they want to resist, and leaning into that resistance. Sun Tzu, writing thousands of years ago in The Art of War, knew this principle deeply. To capture the enemy, give him a golden bridge to retreat across. Don't fight resistance head-on, channel it, redirect it. Let the enemy believe it was their choice to surrender, their strategy to yield. That principle didn't die with ancient warfare. It evolved into modern negotiations, explosive relationships, toxic office cultures, and billion-dollar marketing campaigns. Let's talk advertising. Think of an ad that says, "This device isn't for everyone, only the bold." Who hears that and walks away? Almost no one, because none of us identify as everyone, and all of us like to think we're bold. Or the phrase, "Don't click on this link unless you're ready to face the truth." Click. We just got reverse psychologized. The genius is that we chase the forbidden, not because we truly want it, but because someone told us we couldn't have it. It's Adam and Eve. It's Greek tragedy. It's the eternal tension between rules and revolt. And then we take it to relationships. You say, "You know what? It seems like you're just not ready for someone like me." That sentence both offends and excites. The implication is, if you walk away, you've proved I'm right. But if you stay, you're chasing the image of someone ready, mature, worthy. You're not pushing someone. You're stepping back and letting their pride pull them forward. In the world of business, reverse psychology shows up in negotiation scenarios all the time. A clever negotiator will often undersell something first. Listen, I'm not sure this deal is right for you. It's aggressive, it's risky. What happens? The buyer starts describing why they can handle it. You flip the table. You made them pitch you. And the ethics of this don't lie in the tactic, they lie in why you're using it. Are you empowering someone or misleading them? That's the question reverse psychology always demands at its core. Now let's get philosophical about all of this. Friedrich Nietzsche wrote deeply about the will to power. Every person, he argued, is driven by a fundamental urge, not just to survive or exist, but to exert their will upon the world. Reverse psychology engages this very engine. When we tell someone, don't do it, what we're really saying is, prove you have power. Prove your will is stronger than mine. And they do, because they crave that moment of control. But there's a dark dimension too. Because this tool can be weaponized, it's not hard to veer into manipulation. Toxic relationships thrive on reverse psychology. I guess you don't care about me enough to stay. If you were really mature, you'd leave me alone. These are not honest statements. They are psychological hooks dressed as vulnerability. And they work because the target associates resistance with guilt and compliance with emotional reward. Maybe you've been caught in that trap. Maybe you've set it yourself. Either way, reverse psychology in the hands of wound-centered minds becomes a game of control, not communication. And that's what nobody talks about. Behind every "I guess you just don't get it," there's a hidden dare, a challenge to identity. Reverse psychology isn't always playful, it's often painful. Parents guilt their children into obedience. Bosses shame employees into overtime. Lovers manipulate partners into apologies. All while never asking, only implying. So how do you protect yourself? The first step is awareness. If someone makes a statement that seems too exaggerated, too dismissive, too certain that you aren't capable or worthy, you need to pause, not react. Ask yourself, what do I feel right now? Do I feel the urge to respond emotionally, to validate myself? That's your first flag. Reverse psychology preys on identity. It doesn't always tell you what to do. It tells you what you're not, and then dares you to become it. The second step is detachment. When someone nudges you with a reverse statement like, "You probably don't want to take this on, it's too much," detach from the performance. Ask, am I making this decision because it aligns with my goals, or because I refuse to be underestimated? In other words, who's in the driver's seat, your will or your ego? The final step is reclaiming the power. You can use reverse psychology ethically to encourage growth, open resistance, and spark agency. Think of Viktor Frankl's comment in Man's Search for Meaning. Freedom is in the space between stimulus and response. Reverse psychology is a stimulus, often concealed, and your power lies in noticing it before your unconscious reaction kicks in. Let's now flip the lens completely. What if you could use these techniques to resolve conflict, lead teams, shift perspectives without force? Here's where things get powerful. In negotiations, instead of pressuring someone, say, "I'm not sure now's the right time to bring you in. This project has serious heat." Watch the dynamic flip. People hate being left out of high-value moves. Or in dating, say, "You seem like someone who values independence. I don't want to impose." Respect fuels magnetism. Reverse psychology can be used not to manipulate, but to mirror someone's strength. When used honorably, it brings out the best in people, not by pushing them, but by challenging them. Now pause with me for a moment. Here's the second hook, one you need to hear. Have you ever felt like your decisions weren't entirely your own? Confused by why you reacted the way you did, even when it felt irrational at the time? Why does no one talk about how many of our choices began as silent challenges from others? This is not about being paranoid. This is about waking up. You were trained to respond to subtle cues long before you ever knew the words reverse psychology. Your teachers used it. Your siblings did too. That ex, Definitely. Marketers built entire campaigns out of your aversion to being told what's normal. Governments, let's not even go there. Reverse psychology isn't some party trick. It's one of the most powerful cultural forces we never name. And here's the soul-searching truth. Sometimes we're using reverse psychology on ourselves. Hear me. You ever procrastinate because you told yourself the task was too hard, then got angry and proved yourself wrong, finishing it in an hour? Or told yourself you're not disciplined enough for the gym, only to spark that internal rage to prove you can? That's not coincidence. That's your subconscious leveraging your reactance to wake up your drive. Carl Jung would say this is the shadow taking over when the conscious mind hesitates. Your soul throws you a challenge to start becoming who you're afraid to be. You play the villain to spark the hero, and in that there's endless potential. You can hack your own resistance using reverse psychology. Say to yourself, I probably won't make this deadline. It's too ambitious. Feel that inner alpha rise, that indignation, that rebellious drive that says, watch me. That's power, and it was inside you all along. But here's the final turn of the blade. The most powerful use of reverse psychology is letting go of it. True psychological maturity isn't just about influencing others. It's about seeing through influence and choosing regardless. When someone tells you you can't, and you don't feel the need to prove them wrong, you have reached psychological sovereignty. That space of stillness, that's where wisdom lives. Where your response is less about ego and more about alignment. Nietzsche called this becoming. Viktor Frankl would call it meaning. That place where you don't just resist or react, but reside in awareness. Where no statement, positive or negative, can sway your direction unless it reflects your principles. So as you walk away from this video, take this with you. Reverse psychology is not manipulation. It's a mirror. It can show you the fault lines in yourself and others if you're willing to look. Sometimes we need resistance to awaken desire. Sometimes we need a challenge to access drive. You can use this tool to lead better, speak smarter, parent wiser, negotiate fairer, but most of all, to understand yourself more deeply. Because whether you're in a boardroom scrolling social media or staring in the mirror, the game never stops. And the power is learning when you're being played and when you're playing yourself. If you've made it this far, I want to know who truly understood the message. Leave the phrase rebellion disguised as freedom in the comments, and let's see how many of you really grasp what it means to influence without controlling and resist without being controlled. If this video made you stop and think, if it made you look at your own life from a different perspective, then hit that like button and subscribe, because this is only the beginning. There's so much more to uncover about how people think, act, and deceive, consciously or unconsciously. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, sometimes the best way to lead is to step back and let someone insist on walking the path you quietly built for them.